Brain fog feels like your brain is running in slow motion. You're awake, but not sharp. The fastest safe reset starts by figuring out what kind of fog you're in, because different causes respond to different fixes. For many people, it's one of three buckets: dehydration and low electrolytes, blood sugar swings, or a nervous system stuck in stress mode. The good news is you can often feel noticeably clearer the same day, using simple steps that don't require supplements or extreme routines. The goal isn't to force productivity. It's to restore the basics your brain needs to process information: steady fuel, enough fluid, and a calmer signal-to-noise ratio. In the next few minutes, you'll build a quick reset stack you can try in under an hour. You'll also learn how to spot the red flags that mean you should stop and get checked out. Let's start with the fastest win that most people miss: hydration that actually works. Moving to slide 2. First, do a quick self-check. Brain fog is a symptom, not a personality trait. Ask 3 questions. 1. Did the fog show up after poor sleep, travel, or a stressful block of work? 2. Did it follow a meal, especially a big carb-heavy meal, or long time without eating? 3. Are you also getting headache, dizziness, dry mouth, or unusually dark urine? Those clues point to the most common same-day drivers. Also check your environment. Stale air, warm rooms, and long screen sessions quietly push your brain toward fatigue. Now set a baseline so you can tell if the reset is working. Pick one tiny test you can repeat. It could be reading one paragraph and summarizing it, doing 5 simple calculations, or recalling a short list of items. Do it once now, quickly, without judging yourself. You're not proving anything. You're collecting data so you can notice improvement in 30 to 60 minutes. Moving to slide 3. Now the fastest lever: rehydration with a little strategy. Plain water helps, but if you've been sweating, stressed, or drinking lots of coffee, you may be low on electrolytes, especially sodium. That can make water feel like it doesn't work. A simple approach is to drink a full glass of water, then another glass over the next 20 minutes. If you tolerate it and you don't have a medical reason to limit sodium, you can add a tiny pinch of salt to 1 glass or pair the water with a salty snack. The point is not to chug liters. The point is to restore fluid balance so blood flow and nerve signaling run smoothly. While you hydrate, do one more thing. Stand up. Sitting compresses circulation and keeps you in a low-energy posture. A short walk to the kitchen and back counts. In 20 to 30 minutes, recheck your baseline test. If clarity improves even slightly. Moving to slide 4. If hydration didn't move the needle, the next common cause is blood sugar instability. Brain fog often shows up as wired but slow, or as a sudden slump after eating. The same-day fix is to aim for steady fuel, not a spike. If you haven't eaten in many hours, try a balanced mini-meal: protein plus fiber, with a little fat. Think plain yogurt with nuts, eggs with vegetables, or a small portion of beans and rice with extra veggies. If you just ate a big sugary or refined carb meal, don't punish yourself. Take a 10 to 15-minute easy walk. That gentle movement helps your muscles pull glucose out of the blood without needing a hard workout. Then, for your next meal, build the plate in this order: fiber first, protein second, starch last. It slows the rise and often reduces the crash. Retest your baseline about 45 minutes after the walk or the mini-meal. Moving to slide 5. Another fast reset is oxygen and carbon dioxide balance. That sounds technical, but it's simple. When you're stressed, you tend to breathe shallow and fast. That can lower carbon dioxide too much and paradoxically reduce blood flow to the brain. The result can feel like lightheaded fog, poor focus, and a sense of being off. Try this for 2 minutes. Inhale gently through your nose for about 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your nose for about 6 seconds. Keep it quiet and easy. If you can, make the exhale longer than the inhale. This is not about taking huge breaths. It's about slowing the system down. After 2 minutes, pause and notice your jaw, shoulders, and forehead. Let them soften. Then open a window or step into fresher air if you can. Many people feel a noticeable shift in mental clarity just from breathing slower and changing air quality. Retest your baseline right after. Moving to slide 6. Let's talk about light, because it's a same-day lever for alertness. Your brain uses bright light as a signal that it's time to be awake and focused. Dim indoor lighting can keep you in a low arousal state, especially after lunch or after hours of screens. If it's daytime, get outside for 5 to 10 minutes. You don't need to stare at the sun. Just let your eyes take in natural brightness while you look at the horizon or the ground. If you can't go outside, move closer to a window and turn on brighter room lights. Then, reduce visual noise for a moment. Close extra tabs, clear your desk surface, and give your eyes one distant focus break. Look at something far away for 20 seconds. That relaxes the focusing muscles that get fatigued from close-up work. Combine this with the slow breathing you just did, and you've changed both the alertness signal and the stress signal. Retest your baseline after the light exposure. Moving to slide 7. If you're still foggy, add a short movement spark. This is not a full workout. The goal is to increase blood flow and norepinephrine a bit, without draining you. Try 3 minutes of brisk walking, climbing a few flights of stairs, or doing a simple circuit like 10 bodyweight squats, 10 wall push-ups, and a 30-second fast march in place. Keep it moderate. You should feel warmer and more awake, not exhausted. Movement also helps when fog is coming from long sitting, shallow breathing, and low-grade tension. After the 3 minutes, stop and do 1 minute of slow breathing again. That combination, upshift then downshift, often creates a clean, calm alertness. If you're prone to dizziness, keep the movement gentle and hold on to something stable. Then retest your baseline. If you get a clear improvement, you've learned that your brain responds well to circulation and arousal changes, which you can use anytime you hit a slump. Moving to slide 8. Now let's remove a sneaky cause of brain fog: task switching. Sometimes you're not foggy, you're overloaded. Every notification, open tab, and half-finished task forces your brain to reorient, and that reorienting feels like mental sludge. Here's a same-day reset. Do a 2-minute brain dump. Write every open loop you can think of. Fast, messy, no organizing. Then circle the one task that would make the next hour easier if it moved forward. Not the biggest life goal, just the next concrete step. Now set a timer for 25 minutes and do only that. If distracting thoughts pop up, add them to the list and return. This works because it reduces cognitive load. Your brain stops trying to remember everything at once. After the 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Water, a short walk, or slow breathing. Then retest your baseline. Many people call this clarity, but it's really reduced mental friction. Moving to slide 9. Let's address caffeine, because it can either help or make fog worse. If you already had a lot, adding more can increase anxiety and make focus more scattered. If you haven't had any and you tolerate it well, a small dose can improve alertness for a few hours. The simplest rule is, use caffeine to support a plan, not to replace sleep, food, or hydration. If you choose to use it, pair it with water, and avoid taking it on an empty stomach if that makes you jittery.
Also consider timing. Late caffeine can push sleep later, and tomorrow's brain fog starts with tonight's sleep.
If you're in the afternoon and you're sensitive, consider decaf coffee or herbal tea instead, and rely on light and movement. One more trick: don't sip caffeine constantly. Take it in a defined window, then stop so your brain gets a clear on-off signal. Then, retest your baseline after 20 to 30 minutes. Moving to slide 10. If your fog feels like heaviness, pressure, or a dull headache, check your neck and jaw. Hours of looking down or clenching can create muscle tension that mimics brain fatigue. A quick reset is a 2-minute posture and release routine. First, sit tall and imagine a string lifting the top of your head. Second, gently tuck your chin back like making a double chin and hold for 5 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Third, do slow shoulder rolls, 5 each direction. Finally, unclench your jaw and place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind the front teeth.
That position reduces jaw tensions in many people.
This isn't about perfect posture. It's about giving your nervous system a new input. If you can, Place a warm compress on the back of the neck for a few minutes. Warmth increases local blood flow and can feel calming. Then retest your baseline. If thinking feels smoother, tension was part of the fog. Moving to slide 11. Sometimes brain fog is really sleep pressure. Not just being tired, but your brain building up adenosine, the chemical signal for sleep need. If you can, use a controlled reset, a 10 to 20 minute nap. Set an alarm, keep it short, so you don't wake up groggy from deep sleep. If naps make you feel worse, try non-sleep deep rest instead. Lie down, close your eyes, and do slow breathing for 10 minutes. Even without sleeping, you reduce stress hormones and give attention networks a break. Afterward, stand up slowly, drink a little water, and get a burst of bright light. That helps your brain transition back into alert mode. The key is the sequence: short rest, then light, then a small movement spark. That combination can turn a foggy afternoon into a functional one. Retest your baseline after 10 minutes back up, not immediately on waking. Moving to slide 12. Now let's build your same-day stack so you're not guessing next time. Start with the lowest effort, highest safety steps. Step 1. Water, paced with a small electrolyte boost if appropriate. Step 2. 2 minutes of slow nasal breathing with a longer exhale. Step 3. 5 to 10 minutes of bright light, ideally outdoors. Step 4. 3 minutes of moderate movement. Step 5. A balanced mini-meal if you suspect you're underfueled, or a short walk if you suspect a post-meal crash. That whole stack can fit into 30 to 60 minutes, and you can stop early if you feel better. The key is to change one variable at a time so you learn your pattern. Keep a simple note, what you tried and how your baseline test changed. After a week, you'll usually see repeatable triggers, like dehydration on meeting heavy days, or crashes after certain lunches. That's when brain fog becomes manageable, because it's predictable. Moving to slide 13. Let's cover when brain fog should not be treated as a simple reset problem. If fog comes with chest pain, severe shortness of breath, fainting, a sudden worst headache, weakness on one side, facial drooping, new confusion, or trouble speaking, treat that as urgent. Also be cautious if brain fog is new and persistent for weeks, or if it follows a head injury, a new infection, or major medication changes you didn't expect. Another flag is if you're having frequent episodes with heart palpitations, severe dizziness, or unexplained weight loss. Same-day strategies are fine for common lifestyle-driven fog, but they're not a substitute for evaluation when symptoms suggest something bigger. Practically, here's how to use this. If your reset stack doesn't improve anything after 2 tries on 2 different days, that's a signal to stop experimenting and get a professional opinion. Now, if you did get improvement, your next step is prevention, so the fog shows up less often. Moving to slide 14. Prevention is simple, but it's not glamorous. First, start your day with water and include electrolytes through normal food. Second, anchor meals around protein and fiber, so your brain gets steady fuel. Third, get bright light early and keep indoor lighting bright enough to stay alert. Fourth, break up sitting. A 2-minute walk every hour often beats one long workout for mental clarity. Fifth, protect sleep with a consistent wind down and a caffeine cutoff that fits your sensitivity. If you want one minimum effective routine, do this. Water on waking, 5 minutes outside, protein at the first meal, and 2 short movement breaks before lunch. That combination covers the biggest drivers: hydration, circadian timing, glucose stability, and circulation. Now I want to make this practical. Leave a comment with your brain fog pattern. Is it more A, morning grogginess, or B, afternoon crash? And if you want more scripts like this, with simple steps you can test, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Health span first. Lifespan follows.